Well, hello. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite Vietnam War games. In fact, I wasn't even aware of this game until recently, and this is John Tiller's Vietnam Squad. Now, the amazing thing about John Tiller's games is he's probably one of the most detailed military simulators that you're going to find out there. It is a turn-based game, and there are many different iterations of it, not just Vietnam. You can also play as the French during Dien Bien Phu in Vietnam, and also plenty of World War II iterations. Today we're going to take a look at just a basic battle, specifically the Battle of Dai Do. So in the opening fight of Dai Do, the Marines first had to take the village of Dong Huan, which threatened traffic on the Bo Dio River. After air and artillery preparation, a Marine company assaulted the village over open ground. Despite heavy Marine casualties, every NVA soldier in town was eliminated, and the first NVA stronghold was thus reduced. Now, obviously, we can take a number of different battles, not just Dai Do. I don't want to show you everything because I want to expose you to those battles as we go through this game, and I will definitely be coming back to this. But just to give you an idea, you can see the scroll. You just see how many different battles there are. There are also variations on existing battles, and of course the real big ones like Khe Sanh and Ia Drang we're going to easily be able to get to here. That being said, let's jump right into the game, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the enemy AI is automatic with Fog of War. We could play as the Communists if we would like, but I'm actually going to be playing as the Allied AI at this point and leading the Marines to victory, hopefully. So here we go, guys. We've got the Allied turn. Sorry, I'll get rid of that annoying sound. And what we do to get rid of that actually is we just jump up to settings. First, we need to wait for our turn to load here. And we're just going to go up to settings. And let's see, beep on arrow. So actually, I've taken away beep on arrow before. And what we're going to do is start advancing towards this enemy village. Now, there's so much information in this game, not only morale, but the kind of weapons that your people or your soldiers are using, including pretty much the accuracy of each weapon, the range, the lethality, etc. And you can see our M16s, to be honest, they're not all that effective, not nearly as effective as I expected them to be. We've also got a situation where we have squads here. So for instance, it looks like Captain Larson here is leading this squad of men. And what we could do is we could just advance with Captain Larson here. Everybody else will follow into the rice paddies. And since that's our target right now, I'm going to be okay with making that move. Typically, wouldn't necessarily recommend making this move. But we're going to just pretty much stand out in the open, Agrippa style. And we're going to start pushing forward with all of our men. As time goes on, we will change these positions. In fact, we can actually go ahead and micromanage these little by little. Pretty much just start moving up with the men so that we are covering this entire area. I want to get like a line going so that we can open fire on the village. But keep in mind, in this Battle of Dai Do, the Marines have no air support, no artillery support, nothing like that. And in many conflicts, we actually do get those things, which really makes things a lot easier. So what we need to do is charge into combat and get messy, folks. It's going to be that simple. I'm, of course, going to be pushing forward with our platoons first, and we could also have them drop down into cover. I'm not going to do that right now because as soon as the enemy opens fire, we're going to automatically drop down into cover. And we also have a lieutenant here. I want to make sure that our officers are near the men, but at the same time, I don't want them all the way out in the front here. In fact, honestly, having Captain Larson and Lieutenant Volkman so close to that village is probably not the brightest move in the world. We can obviously like stack guys if we want, but typically you don't want people to be right on top of each other. It not only makes it an easier target for the enemy, but it also makes it harder for your guys to move, because this game perfectly simulates the confusion of two units, you know, running alongside each other, etc. And essentially, you know, not knowing why the hell they have a squad that's not associated with their squad running right next to them. It could cause some confusion for sure. I'm going to continue advancing. I want to get Lieutenant Wilson forward. So we'll put Lieutenant Wilson right there in that stack. And as we approach the village, we're going to be able to start seeing the enemy that we're facing. I believe we are actually facing battle-hardened NVA soldiers. This is not VC. These are not Viet Cong. These guys are regular army, and they will definitely be difficult to deal with. So let's go ahead. We're going to end the turn and hope for the best. Now, when the actual first turn happens, you can save your game. You don't ever have to have this auto-save again if you don't want. So we're just going to go ahead and call it battle. Pretty simple. It's going to be turn 2, and it looks like so far, no contact with VC. So I'm not going to move these officers forward. I think what I'm going to do is actually just move our infantry forward. If you look down here, you can see the time. You can also see the turn that we're currently in, as well as the weather conditions. And some of these battles can last hours. I think this one might just be over the course of minutes, but we'll soon find out. Once again, moving forward, not taking any cover yet. Maybe I should be, but I feel pretty confident. And you can also see the different kinds of weapons that our team has, essentially. When we actually go over here to the heat missile, we can actually go up to, perhaps not with the heat missile, but with certain weapons, you can actually go ahead and switch out the missile for something else. So we might have anti-tank heat missiles, we might have high explosive heat missiles. Each of them are going to be used for different situations, of course. Right now, pushing forward with this fellow here. And while we're at it, get rid of that. I want to get this platoon forward as well. I'm going to have him on the edge of the patty here. The problem is, as you can see, he's a little bit more out in the open, but this was kind of my goal, was to get these guys to form a line. So we are moving them together, moving forward to the line of battle, hopefully. And I am going to spread out. I'm going to try to make it over here to these woods, to this bit of jungle. And each bit of jungle, as you can imagine, is going to provide some sort of cover. In this case, this is actually not jungle. This is just high grass. Nonetheless, it will provide a little bit of cover, but not a lot, I'll be honest with you. If we had something like jungle, then the only way to engage us would be if they went into an adjacent jungle tile. And if you see these little wooden huts, etc., this, of course, represents a village. This is quite a big village, and currently probably staffed full of NVA soldiers. And there we go, taking fire immediately. That is terrifying. Now, of course, our men are returning fire as well, but for sure, these guys got hit. And it doesn't matter. We have to keep advancing. This is not the kind of battle where we can just stop, take our time, set up firing positions. There are plenty of battles in this game like that, but in this one, we're doing Agrippa's favorite. We're charging directly towards the enemy. Hope I didn't select a unit incorrectly. No. Alright, it's quite simple at this point. We've got to push towards that village, no matter what. They've actually got some improved units here. They're in a defensible position, which makes our job a lot more difficult. And these guys are still standing up, but as you can see, this guy that took fire immediately ducked down and sought cover. That's the right move for sure. Do the same with these fellows here, and again, doesn't matter if we get out there in the open. This is sort of the point, although I would caution against using these officers to do this. Probably not the best idea. We'll actually keep that officer right there, and we'll advance with this group all together, just because they're all kind of grouped up here. 1, 2, getting closer to that front line, boys and girls. And I think what we need to do with these guys is just advance. As you can see, we took fire, but we did not get hit. Although as we move closer to the enemy, without a doubt, we're going to start taking shots. Especially once we get into closing range with them. If we want to see exactly what our men see, then we'd click this button. And unfortunately, they seem to be well behind cover. Not to mention, I don't think firing at them from distance is going to do much damage. They're pretty well holed up in that village. What we need to do is we need to get closer and charge them. Really just a concerted charge, everybody charging at once. That's going to be the key to victory here. All right, boys. This is a true push, a true battle right now. Trying to close in. Okay, we just lost one man, so that could be a kill, or it could be he's simply wounded. That being said, we're really putting a lot into this particular jungle position. So for the rest of our guys, the rest of our squads, we're going to move them up over here on the western side. Now, if you look over there, we have officers, and we also have squads. Each of these squads has about 10 men in them. That is variable. I think it's 10, 12, 8. Pretty much like a platoon almost. And we want to just keep pushing forward and make contact with the enemy here. So let's end the turn. I am hoping that we don't take too bad a beating, but we probably will. Remember, during this actual battle, the Marines lost a lot of men. The goal, of course, is to take these 4 objective points. one guy down, and it's actually an officer. This is why we cannot keep those officers out in front. It's just an awful idea, and I'm kind of getting worried that that was the captain, although I think that was the lieutenant. The lieutenant being one of our first guys to go down. I think we took a hit on an actual soldier beforehand, but now this guy is clearly not in the best situation, let's say. Another pretty awful bit of news is that, unfortunately, these units, when they're moving through jungle, they actually can only move one at a time. Or I should say one tile at a time. Although I think this is going to be a bit different because this is high grass. We're about to find out. So let's grab this unit. We're already taking hits. Although so far, yeah, we just lost one guy. We are, however, getting very, very close here to the Vil. So I'm going to go ahead, grab both of them. Grab all the units over here and push my way forward. I do actually have a shot with this unit, although as you can see, they are disrupted. And what that really means in this game is they're just now taking fire. They're aware of the fact they're taking fire. They're not exactly pinned yet, but they are definitely not happy. Let's put it that way. So it looks like we're not going to be able to fire this one. Oh, never mind. So we did get a shot there with our bazooka. I hope we actually hit something, although because of the fog of war, we might not be able to tell until the battle is over. Nonetheless, the enemy fired back, and pretty effectively, too. So let's grab this fellow. Doesn't matter how we get there, we just need to get there. It's that simple. 2, and grab another one here, push forward. Obviously, placement in this game is important, so you don't want to just have everybody bunched up. You want to have a sort of plan here. I'm quite new to this game, and you could see that losing that officer. That was unnecessary. What I'm going to try to do is sort of a pincer attack, attacking over here through the rice paddies and attacking over here through the tall grass. Whether or not that's going to work, only time will tell, but we're getting very close to being able to actually charge the enemy. So these guys are on the ground. We are putting them on a road, though, exposing them to fire. But they should be able to actually take a shot here. Let's let them have it. We've got every single one of our weapons selected. So, as you can see here, it does lose some durability when we fire. But that lets us know that we essentially fired with every single one of those weapons at that target. That doesn't mean we necessarily hit it. Please keep that in mind. Let me first get down with my officer. I'm going to crawl over here where our last officer died, but I am actually taking cover in the rice paddies. And what I'll do is grab our standard group here, the actual infantry unit, start moving forward. We have to take some losses, boys. We have no choice. And we're going to have Captain Larson following up here, but I don't want Captain Larson to take a hit. Come on, boys. Let's get over here with the other officer. Another good thing, obviously, with Lieutenant Mundell is if you do have an officer out in the open, one thing you can do at least is get a group of men there so that, of course, there's more targets for the enemy to shoot at. They're not necessarily going to be firing just at that one officer. That can cause some problems. I'm going to do the same there with the captain, and I'm going to move Lieutenant Wilson all the way up here to the front. He is going to take some heavy fire, but we're closing the gap, my friends. We are closing the gap on these NBA troops. Let's see what they do. One guy lost, another guy lost, 2 casualties already on our side, 3 casualties. They are getting very good shots, but we're about to charge these positions head on. There we go, boys. Look at that return fire. Absolutely beautiful. You can also see that our boys are using their rockets at this point to target the enemy. They're that close. So the laws, things like that, unless you're really close, you're not going to be able to fire them. The same is true for the M79 grenade launcher. In fact, at this close range, I might even try and go for canister shot, which, believe it or not, is an ability of these M79 grenade launchers. Very, very cool stuff. So what I'm thinking is I switch both of these guys to canister shot, or I simply begin the attack. Doesn't look like they're grouping up at all. Usually when I play this mission, they all start stacking up on this building. So let's see if we can't just bust through and get in there right now. So I think what I'm going to do here is open fire with some of these units and try and draw the enemy fire on our men. So pretty much select them here, select the shoot button. Already got some enemy units pinned right there. We'll spread the fire out though. And really we're just trying to get all of that enemy fire focused on these guys. That way when we attack, they're not going to be shooting at any of our advancing troops because they're not going to have any more action points to do so. Alright, come on now. No, that's going to be it. We don't have any more shots with that group. Now, as for the infantry, we've got to make a push. I know, it's terrifying, but we've got to make a push. Now, since we're on the ground, each time we move, that's going to cost us one entire movement point, and we won't be able to move anymore that turn. So we might want to stand up, but I think you guys can probably understand why I don't necessarily want to stand up right now. With this guy, I will, though. So we're going to stand up with this fellow here. And as you can see, as soon as we got up, we started taking shots. But this allows him to run towards the enemy. And if he can just hold on a little while longer, he will be able to charge this location. Oh my goodness, look at that. Still plenty of return fire from the enemy. Don't think they're finished with us for one bit. Grab this fellow as well, or this entire squad, excuse me, and push forward over here. Let's grab this guy as well. Pretty soon, we're going to be able to go ahead and engage them. In fact, here we go, guys. Attacking with a group of 10 men. And it looks like we killed 2 NBA troops here. It's just beautiful. We didn't lose a single man. We've also confined their weapons. And that's one way of knowing, essentially, how many enemies you killed. So we've got 2 dropped AKs and 1 dropped RPG. That is going to be 3 units. Absolutely beautiful. Let's push forward with the bazooka team. And I'm mostly worried about these guys because they're not exactly much of an assault squad. But look, there's 10 men, amongst these 2 squads. So I am charging right there. Beautiful. We pushed them back, and now we've got eyes on the enemy commander. I'm not sure exactly what his rank is, but you can see he's demoralized. He's definitely a little scared right now. We want to push through here, push through the village, and eventually take this area. So let's see. He's got no more movement. This guy has no more movement either. We're going to have to wait until next turn, unfortunately. But I am going to stand up once again, taking a risky approach here, just to be able to get a little farther next turn. That might have been a mistake because we weren't going to be able to move this turn anyway. Let's see. Yeah, no, we're going to keep the captain back here. That's right, they've already opened fire quite a bit. Alright, let's just hope that we've got enough manpower here to really bust through the enemy lines. In fact, I think, yep, we can move forward with yet another unit, another group of 10 men. Let's make the push for the first objective point. Best of luck, boys. And we have taken it, guys. Just a beautiful attack there by our men. 3 dead enemies. But, of course, it would be nice if we could just get one more group in here, because we've only got 9 men now holding out against the officers, or an officer and quite a few NBA soldiers, and some NBA troops right here. Nonetheless, we've got to keep on pushing. We can't be afraid now. This is the most important time of all.
Dankamp! Totori!
Look at the time down there, guys. Just get an idea of how long this battle has been. Just everything that has happened during this actual fight. And let's make a push at this point. Grab both of these guys, and we are going to charge. They've been very successful in the past, the bazooka crew, so I'm hoping they're going to be successful in the future. There we go. Beautifully done. Now, they did take some hits, 2 losses on our side, but we must keep pushing. And at this point, I feel confident to just keep advancing. We are definitely causing the enemy trouble. But unless we can take all of these objective points, we're not going to get a victory in this mission. And let me tell you something. I haven't come this far not to get a victory. Good job. And this unit has done so well. 3-1-E-214. I'm not sure if that's the actual unit name or simply the map coordinate. It might be the map coordinate here. But these guys have been excellent. We'll just call them the Shades guys, the Shades squad. They're absolutely exceptional. And without them, I don't think we would have gotten this far. Now, we still have to keep pushing, guys. There is still an enemy group over here, and it looks like they are still combat operational. I honestly should have stood up there, but you know what? We'll stand up next turn. All of these guys need to stand up. Let me just select them. And we're going to pretty much run right towards the village. Get out of this open area. Oh man, they've got a heavy machine gun there. So that might be an AKM. I'm almost certain that's an AKM, as a matter of fact. But that's going to be all the movement we can do for now. Pardon me. Oh, this jungle has got me sneezing, guys. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end the turn. And I believe we have both these locations, both these points, but I'm not sure just how much more they're going to have in terms of a fighting force.
登艦，撤退，撤退。
Our guys are firing everything at them. Laws, you know, mortar, well, not mortar rounds, but M109 rounds, etc. Firing with their M16s, firing with their M60s. Just everything is being shot at the enemy here. They did manage to take one of our guys down. Let's try to get some vengeance here. Now, one scary aspect of this area for the enemy is we've now got him surrounded. This is going to be very, very useful, although we're not going to be going for the standard, you know, opening fire at the enemy. If we were in a jungle setting and they were, like, moving up a path, it would be nice to just stay put and just open fire. But they're in a village and buildings, and for that, we're going to need to actually bust through. So once again, our bazooka team has been amazing. I think they can win again, and this time maybe even take an officer captive. Okay, they did not break through, and it looks like our guys are now pinned. And look at that, 2 men, 2 men. So 4 men were either killed or wounded in that assault. Although now I believe these guys can follow up and really finish things off. Absolutely beautiful, guys. We got them, and look at that, quite a few dead NBA soldiers. And I'm going to take the Shade Squad, push forward. But as you can see, with the fog of war, the enemy just kind of suddenly appeared here. I didn't expect them to be in that area. We could attack there and probably take them out, but I think we actually need to keep on pushing, and we'll have another unit get into that area to defend from any push from the enemy. Ooh, never mind. He might not be able to attack this turn. That's right. He's out of movement points. So we'll take another unit here. Look at that. Quite a lot of NBA soldiers around us. So with this squad, I'm going to stay put. I'm not going to charge these guys. I'm just going to try and hold this location. Should have had him off the ground already. Let's get these guys off the ground. And hopefully Captain Larson here, he's quite a hero. He'll be able to finish off the enemy in the next attack. And hopefully bring us a glorious victory. I think he can do it, believe it or not. Now, this guy's pinned, and that's going to mean he can't actually move this turn. If you're pinned, you're essentially stuck for one turn. Let's see how the NBA fight here, and if they've still got some fight left in them, or if we finish them off once and for all.
Duncan, 撤退哩，撤退。
Wow, quite amazing. As you can see, they've all run into this building, or at least a good percentage of them have run into this building. Not sure I want to stand up right now with the officer, with the captain, as a matter of fact. Probably, I think, the highest ranking officer we've got on the field right now. So let's get up with this squad, although there's only 6 men in this squad. Nonetheless, a push must be made. Looks like they're going to be disrupted. They're not going to be attacking this turn. decided to get rid of that threat, and I knew our boys would do well there. Good old Shade Squad. I'm going to do the same with this unit. 9 men. Just get rid of any NVA threats, and they actually managed to hold, although they didn't damage our men much, but they did hold that location. I'm going to give the bazooka guys a rest. They've done so much for us during this battle. Actually just shot one of our boys. Let's attack. Revenge! And there we go. We've taken the location. Of course, you still got these 2 locations that are just barely out of our grasp. Got quite a few squads over here that we can put to good use. Let's get an officer over there just to lead the men. Let them know what's what. We took another casualty there, but hopefully that's going to be it for quite a while. And usually I would get up to move, but in this particular situation, if we can take cover and move forward at the same time, that's going to be a winning proposition. 2 guys down on our side. That's not a winning proposition, and we just lost a captain. Absolutely not what we wanted to happen. What I was trying to do is surround these guys from all sides. Maybe we can still make a difference here. All right, now that was a really, really brave attack, killing 3 of the enemies there, but also losing 3 men in that squad. But you can see here, they've actually got a Dushka machine gun. They've still got their officer there. One of their officers is alive, and they are slowly but surely being pushed back here. We just have 2 more locations before we get a total victory. And these guys right here are disrupted. We are also disrupted, but not nearly, demoralized. We're just disrupted, they're demoralized, so I think 1 attack should wipe them out for sure, or at least put them on the run. But what I'm going to try to do is get this guy to make the attack. If not, he'll have to do. Shade Squad there again with another amazing win, but not without taking some damage himself. Got a guy that's pinned here, he's not going to be moving anywhere. And the disrupted fellow, I think, has already done what he can. As for him, let's get him to stand up. And let's hope that this battle favors us in the end. Here we go. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're absolutely retreating there. At least those guys on the eastern side of the village are. Alright guys, 9 of 12, and I'm going to see if I can't just go ahead and get a victory right now. Oh boy. We are now pinned by an enemy squad here. Poor Shades guys, they have fought so bravely, but now they're really starting to feel that NVA spirit. And I'm not sure I want to charge forward with the officer here to take that position, but as you can see, just standing up there to try and head towards that position, we took a shot and actually took a loss. Now let's see if Lieutenant Wilson, the brave Lieutenant Wilson, can take these guys out on his own. That guy is a damn hero, as you can see. He did die, but nonetheless, he is a hero. Let's keep that in mind. Once again, I'm going to stand up. And with this many men in this location, I think almost for sure we're going to be able to pretty much take these locations next turn. So what I'll do here, together, we're going to get all of these men together, including Lieutenant Mundell, so including an officer, and we are going to attack. 2 lost on our side. We did not lose Lieutenant Mundell, though. And there we go. Incredible work there by our men. We did manage to take the location, and that also means we got the enemy's Dushka. They're not going to be using that against us anymore. Now, 1 more location before we get the victory. So let's just try and get as many men into that position as possible. Get up, boys. I'm gonna get these guys up as well. They've seen combat already. They know what's awaiting them here. Okay, boys, we are ending the turn here. I'm not sure what they're saying, but I know that they're not saying we surrender for sure. That would be Didi Mao. Maybe they're saying retreat. Maybe they're saying return fire. If anybody can translate, please let us know. All right, Allied turn, guys, and we are at 10 of 12. Of course, we do hold that location. I'm just going to make sure that we have fully stocked it. I'm even going to move Lieutenant Mundell in there. And what I'll do, I'm not actually going to charge, since we're now defending the location. I'm simply going to try to fire on the enemy. Now for the final charge, we'll actually take these units right here. And that's going to be a total of 14 men. I think we can absolutely push the enemy out of this location. Wow, okay, they are pretty desperate. I think they know what this means. Now, should we send in Shade Squad? The thing is, their morale is very low right now. I'm not sure they would actually withstand an attack. And there we go. Probably a good idea not to send Shade Squad in, also because they're pinned. So they wouldn't really be able to do much even if they wanted to. Well, let's just get in our defensive positions here and hope the enemy doesn't retake any of these locations. And I believe that's going to be a victory for us. In fact, we've got 3 men here, and the enemy looks pretty ripe for good old opening fire on. Just firing with bazookas. We're not going to know until the end of the battle if we actually got any hits over here. Sometimes it pops up, but typically with the fog of war, we're not going to see until we're actually standing over that tile and seeing the dropped AKs, the dropped RPGs, etc. That's going to be it for now. Alright, they're pushing on Shade Squad. It looks like they might be trying to go for an attack here in the center. Hold out, boys. Hold until relieved. Man, a lot of casualties there on our side. I think 6 men going down just in that one situation alone, and that's why you shouldn't bunch men together like I'm doing there. I'm doing something very, very bad. But nonetheless, I want to get a victory here, and I'm confident if we could just stay here one more turn, we've got it. However, I will do an attack here against the enemy officer and this other unit. Yes, beautiful. So try and lower the resistance just a little bit, although we've got to be careful because we are pinned. That's obviously going to make things a little more difficult for us. Keep it up. Alright, no losses on either side, but at least we're showing the NVA that we are not giving up right here. Absolutely not going to happen. Lieutenant Mundell could actually go for a charge, but he's the only guy on the ground that's not pinned. So I'm just going to end the turn and hope Lieutenant Mundell doesn't get wasted like his captain. Okay, I think that's going to be it, guys. Just one more turn. I feel pretty confident in this victory, I have to say. Once again, we got 2 men here, 5 men here. The disrupted unit attacked the officer. And we did take the location, but he just retreated and killed one of our men. So let's not try to take those locations anymore. I'm happy with what we've got. We're just going to end the turn. So they just tried to charge. They lost 3 men. We lost 1. They were not able to break through. That's going to be it, guys. Let's see what happened here. Do we get a victory or not? And we can actually see the total losses. So we had 63 casualties. 3 leaders go down. The enemy, 35 men go down, 3 leaders. It is an Allied minor victory, so we did still get a victory technically, but in terms of body count, we were very short. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this game. I'd love to do some more Norm Kroger. He's just got some incredible stuff here. So if you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe down below, and drop us a comment. And a special thanks to Norm Kroger for passing the game.